So, good afternoon, esteemed leaders and colleagues on this call. It's a pleasure to be here. We have a lot to do today. We also have so much to demonstrate. I'll be. We have so many appraisal forms, templates I have with me, and I'll just be demonstrating one of them at the appropriate time, just to show us what we have. It's not all of us um, that can afford HRIS like Auntie Kumbi and um, Mr. Adebayo. But um, there's still quite a lot we can do with Microsoft Excel. So maybe the first charge will be that we should hone our Excel skills for some of us who are lagging behind in that area. Okay, so let's shoot. So let me start with a simple question, and um, I want you to answer it honestly, just to yourself, just to yourself. Now, how confident are you? Auntie Duni, please, can you mute? Can you hear me? Oh, excellent. So, how confident um are you that your current performance management system is actually driving performance? How confident are you? And I'm not talking about documenting performance. I'm not talking about scoring performance. I'm not talking about appraising performance. I mean genuine driving performance. How confident are you? Because you see, most performance management systems that I've seen, and because of what I do, the consulting work I do, I've seen quite a few. They look busy, they look structured, they look compliant, but underneath these glamorous um, appraisal form, all that structure, all of the structure are not delivering results. Underneath this, they are not delivering results at all. Because if they are delivering results, we are not going to continue recording losses. I mean, especially the publicly quoted companies, we shall see, even if we don't have access to the annual reports of uh, the limited liability companies, we see those that are publicly quoted, we have access to their annual reports. And that's not a Nigerian problem alone. It's global, it's systemic. And, by 2026 that we are in, it has become impossible to ignore, very impossible to ignore. Now, I think, since around 2024, all through 2025, and now into 2026, performance has not just featured as an HR priority. All the reports we've seen, at least we've seen the one CIPM does, we've seen the one, is it Gallup, all of these global reports on HR, it has dominated the conversation. And this is because organizations are under pressure, real pressure. Payroll costs are rising, margins are tightening, boards are asking, harder questions. Turnover is more fluid, and tolerance for mediocrity is shrinking by the day. Yet, many organizations are still running performance systems designed for a slower, very, very slower, simpler era in 2026. So we are managing a 2026 workforce with systems designed for what year can I call it? Many, many years ago, maybe 2006. And that gap, that mismatch is very, very dangerous. It's dangerous because when performance systems lag behind, um, when they lag behind the business reality, what happens? People disengage. high performers feel unrewarded. I mean, because they are not correlating. And what happens to HR? We lose credibility at the decision table. And I know this is something all of us have been we've been clamoring for so long. And that's the big issue. So when we say we want to re-engineer performance management in a year like this, we are not just talking about tweaking something, maybe tweaking a form or changing rating labels. I know we know how to do that. We're not talking about running another calibration workshop. No, we are talking about a fundamental shift in how performance is, one, designed, two, used, and three, governed. How performance is designed, how it is used, and how it is governed. So this year, we cannot afford to continue with the old mandate. We cannot continue to major in the minor issues around coordinating appraisals, congratulations, issues around chasing managers, compiling ratings. Oh, all well and good, you know how to do that, processing increments, supporting promotions. All of those are good, but we must focus on engineering outcomes. Engineering outcomes, being the architect to design and engineer outcomes. Issues around protecting payroll integrity. Issues around driving measurable productivity. Yes, enforcing accountability. I mean, structurally. Issues around differentiating performance credibly. Issues around linking rewards to results, not just at the end of the month, everybody collects salary. At the end of 3 years, everybody gets promoted. No, linking rewards to results, aligning progression with contributions, and issues around data, using data to support decisions. So performance management must move from an annual ritual to an organizational control system. You know, I've said it times and again that performance management is not to punish those who fail, it's to ensure people perform. We are managing people to ensure they perform. That's one leg to it. Another leg is also that it should be used as an organizational control system. If not, organization will be making so much and people will be parting away with resources they don't deserve. And this is why globally the conversations has shifted from performance management to performance development. I saw that in Gallup's report, you know, and I try to look at what is available as SHRIM, what CIPD is also doing, and I see that the conversation now is around, you know, performance development instead of just managing performance, engineering it. So the conversation has shifted from judging people once a year to building systems that continuously improve capability. It has shifted from scoring people at the end of the year to aligning efforts to strategy on a daily basis. Has shifted completely from what's coming to my mind now, asking questions around how did you perform last year, to designing systems that answer how do we get better results on a regular basis, consistently, on a regular. And that's what today is about. That's what we want to look at today. So today, we are going to question assumptions. Apologies for those who had stick to what they know. Today, we will unlearn some HR traditions and attempt to rebuild performance management from a systems perspective. You know, whether you are managing 5 people or 50,000 people, but whether you work in the private sector, you work in the public space, yours is a non-governmental organization or regulated environment, the principles we are discussing today will apply there. Just be assured it will. So as we go along, I want you to keep asking yourself these fundamental questions. Number one, what does this mean for my organization? So that it doesn't become a theoretical thing where you come, the guy is good, the guy is not good, the guy is, his face is fine, his face is not fine, and then you go back and wasted time. What does this expose in our system? And what must HR stop doing? What must we stop doing? What must we start doing? And what must we redesign entirely in your organization? What must you stop doing? What must you start doing? And what must you redesign entirely? So let's quickly move to the next slide so we can move on. Now, what is performance? And it's funny because we're asking what performance is, and what you are seeing on the screen are photographs, images, two images. And it's because I want to make two analogies. Imagine this young groom you're seeing on your screen preparing for his wedding day. He walks into a tailoring house with a very clear request. A very clear request. He provides his measurements. What do we provide? Okay, a premium fabric. Yes, premium Italo fabric. He provides a reference photo of various angles to let the tailor see that this is what I want to sew. You know, slim fit Italian wedding suit, tó gbẹ dáadáa, and a fixed non-negotiable deadline. And the agreement is simple. Deliver exactly what I have specified. Deliver exactly what I have specified. And he pays 80% upfront. And he leaves, trusting the tailor that he will deliver. Now, he does this and he contacted 3 or 4 tailors and gives them the same target. Now, after the deadline, they show up with different outcomes. Tailor 1, he came around and handed over what he has created. And the young man puts it on. Perfect fit, sharp shoulder lines, sculptured waist. The face showed, the shoe shine. Clean break, on the shoe. The lapels match. Everything just matched perfectly. Nothing was interpreted. Nothing was modified. Nothing was simplified. The outcome was delivered exactly as agreed. That's tailor number 1. Tailor number 2 came around and presented his own suit. It's well made, premium fabric, excellent stitching. He touched it, it looked durable, comfortable, but the cut is regular, not slim. What did our guy, our groom, what did he ask for? He didn't ask for regular. He asked for slim. The waist looks boxy, and the silhouette is very, very conservative. Now, it is high quality office suit. It is high quality suit, no doubt. But it's looking more like an office suit than a wedding suit. Not an Italian wedding suit. But what was asked, what the target he was given for which he was paid, was give me an Italian wedding suit. Yes, quality was delivered, but was the agreement honored? No. The agreement was not to deliver a good suit. The agreement was to deliver a slim fit Italian wedding suit to exact measurements by a fixed deadline with no reinterpretation. Now, let's not even talk about the third tailor, because I'm trying to manage time and I have so much to do on that one. The third tailor came and also messed things up. To also save time, let me not even go around the analogy of of the building. Maybe when we have a master class, a physical class, if God permits, we can add that. But you see, the point I want to make is in performance management, what matters is not how busy an employee was, not how hard they tried, not how sincere they appeared. What matters is whether the agreed objective were achieved to the agreed standard, not modified, not I tried. Because without this clarity, performance management will become storytelling. It's going to become storytelling. But when you have this kind of clarity on whether, the agreed objectives were achieved or not to the agreed standard, then performance management becomes very clear. It becomes evidence-based, and it becomes impossible to argue with. It becomes impossible to argue with. And so I've looked at various organizations, and we will get there. It's what we call meet expectation. Is it really meet expectation? Some of us brought it to 70%, some of us 75%. The moment an employee scores 75%, you say meet expectation. He scores 80%, you are saying exceed expectation. Was it 80% they paid him for 100%? So it's important we define what performance is. Because many performance management systems, they don't fail because the form is bad. They fail because the organization needs, they never agreed on the meaning of the word performance in the first place. So we measure activity and call it achievement. We reward efforts and label it success. We make motions, for progress. Make it, mistake it, and just confuse it, interpret it. As long as people are busy, some of them will be sweating even under a very chilling AC. It's working. No. And in HR, that mistake is very, very expensive. So let's start by agreeing on what performance is not. Let's start by agreeing on what performance is not. What is not performance? I hope that grammar is correct. Thank God I have my auntie here. Anybody that does anyhow today that wants to pick my grammar, it's engineering I did. So, like throughout to school. So what is performance not? Yes, I think that grammar is correct. Performance is not activity. It is not effort. It is not busyness. And definitely, it's not good intentions. No. All of these are definitely inputs. Yes. They may be signals. Yes, no doubt. But they are not performance. Because activity tells you someone was engaged. Oh, glory to God. Yes. If he's full of activities, oh, glory to God. At least we don't have a disengaged staff. But it does not tell you they delivered. Efforts tell you, oh, okay, somebody tried, not that he didn't put in effort. But it doesn't tell you they achieved. Being busy tells you someone was moving around. But moving around does not mean the organization was moving forward. So we cannot say they are performances. What performance truly is the achievement of clearly defined and agreed outcomes. Clearly defined and agreed outcomes. We define it. We say this is what we want to achieve. So you have not performed until you achieve that. 100%. You have not achieved. Just like the analogy we gave. Not I tried, sir. Not I was busy. Not I meant well. Outcomes, agreed outcomes, clearly defined outcomes. So once you accept that definition, congratulations. The performance conversations moves from being emotional debates to becoming objective business discussion. So I'll leave that there for the sake of our time, so we can move on to the next slide and really look at why traditional appraisals are failing. Someone wants to record. No. Yes. We will share this, don't worry, so that we don't get distracted. Now, we've agreed on definitions. Performance is the delivery of agreed outcomes. Shikenan. Great outcomes, oh. Clear outcomes, measurable outcomes. So the next question is, why have traditional appraisal systems struggled so badly to measure and manage this? And from the little knowledge I know, I have, across industries, across countries, across sectors, they are private, public, regulated, etc., etc. Organizations are discovering that traditional appraisals are failing. I have one in front of me now. Oh God, I don't want to, let me not cast people because some of them may be here. APA. Let me keep quiet so that I don't I like to wear emotional intelligence even as I speak. So they are failing. Not because HR professionals are not intelligent, because managers are not well-meaning, not because the structure of the old model does not match the reality of, what was happening in their days, but because it's not matching the reality of today. And that's the issue. The old appraisal systems was designed for a world that no longer exists. Traditional appraisals were built for slower, simpler workplace. Not in a generation where someone you are giving birth today he already knows how to operate a phone more than you do. A world where work is stable, back then, yes, traditional appraisal system is designed for that, where roles are predictable. Organizations, the change in those organizational change, they were gradual, not in this disrupted world of work. And performance could be reviewed at the end of the year, like, school results. But you and I know that that word is gone. Work now is dynamic. Targets shift mid-quarter, if not on a monthly basis. Especially if you are working with a CEO that is very, very cerebral, that is spontaneous. Priorities change monthly. Projects evolve weekly. So the point is, if work is moving fast and feedback is moving slow, then performance management becomes very, very, very irrelevant. If work is moving at a fast pace and the feedback the employees are getting is moving like a snail, and what we are doing is no longer performance management. And that's exactly what's happening. So let me break that down. Number one, feedback is too frequent. That's on performance management. But the problem, why the traditional appraisals are failing today, is that instead of feedback being frequent, they are becoming too infrequent. Annual reviews assume you can correct performance once in a year. But in a fast-moving environment that we are today, that model is fundamentally broken. Because by the time feedback comes, the mistake has already happened. Clients have, been lost. The opportunity has already passed. The team has already suffered. And the employees, has already formed habits, whether good or bad. I'm sure you've heard of leading KPIs and lagging KPIs. If God helps us, we'll get to that. This is not a 1 hour talk. It's usually a master class, a 3-day master class that, but God will help me. Let me see. the much I can deal with today. So learning becomes retrospective instead of real time. What example can I give you? Okay, let's look at an HR business partner. Suppose a line manager who is mishandling a team for delegation, all those issues, wrong priorities, constant firefighting, and everybody can see you. They can see the damage, morale dropping, output dropping, people beginning to look for exits. But because performance conversations are reserved for appraisal reason, the season where appraisal happen, that's at the end. Yeah, that's for some of you who does appraisal annually. We tolerate it for 9 months. That kind of bad behavior, 9 months. And then we discuss it in December. And we say that's performance. No. As performance post-mortem, performance obituary. And that's the truth. That's the very truth. Number 2, why are they failing? Ratings are highly subjective. And I know what I'm talking about. Some organizations still do this. Most appraisal systems still rely on vague language, good performance, strong contributor, missed expectation. Big grammar. And those phrases sound professional. I mean, pushed. But they are empty without objective criteria. Empty. You see the problem immediately. 2 managers look at the same employee, same output, same behavior, same KPIs, and they reach 2 different conclusions. So the rating becomes opinion, not measurement. Not measurement. Opinion is how I feel about the employee. I just write it there. And all manner of unconscious bias setting, halo effect, horn effect, all manner enters into the rating. And once rating feels like opinion, what happened to credibility? Gone, dead. Because nobody will trust a system, they believe is based on mood. If his wife treats him well on the day he wants to do appraisal, he comes to the office, and God help the employee that is also in the good book. Maybe your guy is coming to the office that morning, he has washed the car. As big boyish as the employee is, he has packaged something for the oga. He's going to get good grade. And God help him that police harasses the boss that morning. And then he gets to the office. Maybe rain now falls or traffic, and the guy doesn't get to the office in time. we know what the appraisal will look like. No, that's no longer performance appraisal. So number 3, manager bias, dominating decisions. I mentioned this here. Number 4, forms replacing real conversations. As you can see on your screen. This is one of the biggest tragedies in HR. Many organizations, appraisal season becomes, long form season, complex templates. HR on a try. The templates I've come across in this life, I just need to create my own. And thank God for technology. Because I was talking with someone yesterday, and they said, this one I designed, though. I just showed her whether they have it on their system. He said it's like I copied what was on their solution, human resource solution. All manner of complex templates, lengthy narratives, endless chasing. So the process becomes administrative compliance, not an opportunity for developmental dialogue. People are no longer asking, how can we improve performance? The conversation is around, how do I complete this form and avoid trouble? How? And when the focus becomes form completion, performance improvements, what happens to it? It disappears. So putting it simply, We replace human conversations with paperwork, and that's a big one. Another reason why performance are failing, paid decisions crowd out, development. Most systems tie appraisal ratings directly to salary increase and promotion. So what happens? The conversation now is no longer how can I improve? It becomes how much will I get? What do we call this thing now? Steps, Abi? How much will I get? Bonuses, STs. Is it okay? STIs, Abi? STIs. No, no STs. There's an I there. Whatever that means. At the moment money enters the room, development leaves the room. When the discussion becomes increment and promotion, and development becomes secondary. So employees don't come to review to learn. They come to negotiate. And managers, we are not ready to coach when that happens. They just come to defend the budget. And then HR as a referee of the argument. What do we do? We're just looking, helpless. So if you combine all these weaknesses that I mentioned, I think I've mentioned quite a few, ratings, manager bias, forms, and processes, all of this you are seeing on your screen. What do you get? What you get is issues around inflated ratings. Yes. Where managers avoid difficult conversations, weak differentiation. High performers and average performers, they are receiving similar treatment. There's no meaning to reward again. There's no meaning to recognition. It loses its credibility. Demotivated top performers. Because that talented people look around and they see mediocrity being rewarded. So why will I give my best to the organization? Protected mediocrity. And that's a business risk in 2026. A real business risk. So what this means is that the goal is no longer to run an appraisal process. The goal for us as HR professionals is to build a performance system that drives results, differentiates fairly, and develops capability and protect payroll integrity. That should be the goal. Now we've talked about the problem. Let's now look at how to redesign performance for accountability, equity, and results. We've diagnosed the problem. We've agreed on what performance really means. We've also been honest about why traditional appraisers are failing. So the question now is, what must replace it in 2026? What must replace it in 2026? And we're not talking about a better form. We're talking about a better system, not a nicer template, not a new rating scale, not a more colorful HR reporter, a system. You can redesign the form 10 times. If the underlying system is weak, the outcome will remain weak. So let me break it down. This year, the performance management you should adopt must rest on 3 pillars, as you can see on your screen. Number 1, establish expectations. That's the first pillar of modern performance management system. Number 2, you need to continually coach. Number 3, you need to create accountability. Clarity, coaching, and consequences. Because taking it one by one, without clarity, people will be confused. Without coaching, we are going to drift away. We are not supermen. Even though we have the Spirit of God in us, we are not supermen, we are human beings. And without accountability, we will relax and slip into mediocrity. And that's the truth. That's the truth. So, when we are talking about establishing expectations, you need to do this because you cannot manage what is vague. I'm taking time to think properly, to pick my words. You can't measure what is unclear. You can't judge what was never agreed. You can't punish me for something I didn't agree to. So when we say establish expectations, we are talking about defining clear goals and outcomes, setting measurable KPIs, agreeing on standards, on quality and timeline, making sure that the employee can describe what success looks like in their own words. Yes. They should be able to describe what success looks like, what outcomes look like in their own words. One of the quiet killers of performance is people don't fail because they are lazy. They fail because success was never clearly defined. They didn't know what. Oh God. Please, I'm not referring to anybody. I know you know, some of you I consult for, you are here. So you can't say you are the one I'm talking to. Of course, at this level of my life, you should know I have access to so many. So I'm not talking about any particular organization. People fail because success was never defined. And so I'm going to leave it there, because if I start dwelling more on it, somebody may feel I'm talking about his own organization. I know in many organizations, a manager will tell his employee, be more proactive, improve stakeholder management, Abi, add more value. That sounds nice. But what does he mean? Proactive, how? Stakeholders, which ones? Values measured by what? This kind of big language creates confusion, not performance. So in 2026, your expectations must be, is it SMART now we call it? Specific, measurable, time-bound, transparent, mutually understood. Understood by you, understood by the employee. What that is in your head and you feel the employee should go and figure it out. So if it's not clearly understood by him, there will be trouble. That's how to reduce bias. That's how to reduce drama. That's how to reduce, he said, she said, I didn't say, So on this, in your organization, are expectations truly clear? I'd like you to just think about it for a second. Or are they just professionally vague? Another pillar, the second pillar, continually coach. Now, once expectations are clear, what most organizations keep is coaching. We have given you the job, go and deliver. And then we wait for you till the end of the year to come and discipline you on why you didn't perform. So modern performance management is primarily developmental, not judgmental. You are managing performance, managing the guy to perform, ensuring he performs, making sure he performs. So if he doesn't know, you make him know. If he doesn't have it, you help him have it. Developmental. It is not let me catch you doing wrong. It is let me help you deliver right. Because annual reviews alone demotivate. Come too late. They feel like judgment. And you can't try it with Gen Zs. And try it. So coaching must be frequent. Weekly check-ins, not annual monologues. Whatever you don't inspect, don't expect. Whatever you do not inspect, don't expect. So we need immediate feedback, not delayed criticism. Course correction while work is still in progress. Support for learning before failure becomes reputation. So a major shift is that the manager is no longer, how do I put this now? It's no longer just an evaluator. Yes, that's language. The manager becomes the coach. The manager becomes the coach, not how is he doing? He's doing well. How is he doing? He's not doing well. He's the one to coach the person to perform. And I want you to feel the weight of this, because it's going to change everything. A coach does not wait till the match ends before talking to the player. They just finished AFCON. And I see the coaches interact as the match is going on. The coach corrects in the game. A coach corrects during training. A coach corrects before the mistake becomes permanent. So let me leave that there because of our time. The third pillar, accountability. Of course, we love the idea of coaching. We love the idea of development. We love the idea of support. Excellent, beautiful. But coaching without accountability, what will it produce? Comfort, not results. After all, no matter what happens, we will be all right, last. So the modern system must still make clear distinctions between performance levels. If everyone is treated the same, then performance becomes optional. Accountability means, objective measurement of results. Objective measurement of results. Transparent rating logic. Clear consequences for performance levels. Linkage between performance, reward, and progression. And this is what ensures that high performers are recognized. It's what ensures that if you perform averagely, you will be developed. And if you want to continue to perform poorly, well, that performance will be addressed decisively. The system is not fair when it protects poor performance. No. I support coaching, but it must come side by side with accountability. It's not fair to the business, not fair to the team, and it's definitely not fair to the high performer carrying the load. We're asking people, the department, to bring in 5 billion. Only 2 people there in a department of 10, and others are hiding. Only 2 people are bringing the entire, achieving the entire target of the department. And we gloss over it and feel, okay, we need to serve as coach. Coach what? Coach Kane. PIP. You are going on PIP. Straight up, PIP. So the structural shift, as you can see on your screen. So instead of waiting till the year end, performance has to be managed in real time, weekly, monthly, quarterly. So the question changes from how did you do last year to how can we help you perform better right now? From subjective ratings to data-driven evaluation. We're moving away from manager opinions as the primary engine. We are introducing clear metric defined thresholds and evidence-based assessments. Of course, judgment still exists, no doubt. Judgment still exists, but it has to be guided by structure, not mood. Structure. And it has to be from automatic increments to differentiated rewards. That's number 3 point, as you can see on the screen. In many legacy systems, everyone gets similar increase. So managers inflate ratings to justify pay, and rewards lose meaning. So in 2026, rewards must be differentiated. Rewards must be earned. It must be linked to results. It must be defensible to finance and leadership. Else, you are a cost center. You are HR. You are a cost center. If it's not defensible to finance and leadership. And lastly, from tenure promotion to merit progression. So the old assumption was stay long enough and you will rise. I mean, 3 years or 5 years. I don't even know. I think in most organizations it's 3 years, but some have been there for since forever. I like that. Stay long enough and you will rise. But this year, time served does not equal value delivered. Promotion must follow proven capability. Capability, you have to prove it. Progression must be evidence-based. It must be evidence-based. So what does this shift mean for us in HR? So what it means is that we can no longer be the department that distributes appraisal forms, collect ratings, and calculate increments. We have to be the architect of a performance system that aligns people to strategy, that drives productivity, that protects payroll integrity, that enables fair decisions, and that builds organizational capability. So the system shifts from administering appraisals to engineering performance. It has to shift from administering appraisals. You are the engineer of outcomes in your organization. So you must know what's the solution to sales problem. You must know the solution to marketing problem. You must know the solution. I don't want to brag, but I practice what I preach. First degree in engineering. So there's no welding anything you want to do now. I have a welding machine. I inherited it from my father. I inherited a whole fabrication company from my father. I'm a thoroughbred HR professional. By the help of God, through my brother, Mr. Omoli Osahon, I'm a member of the Chartered Institute of Directors. So I know corporate governance. I'm a licensed digital marketer, licensed by Google and HubSpot. I'm an agile project manager, licensed by Google. I have my license. I did Scrum examination. I'm a certified Scrum Master. And let me bust your bubble. I have registered for ICANN. Because you want to be HR. If you are going to engineer performance and you don't know what they do in finance, you don't know what they do in marketing, you don't know what they do in sales, what value are you going, when they are having that conversation, what are you going to contribute to it? What are you going to contribute to it? They are blowing the gum and you are looking like, duh. And you are saying you need a seat at the table. Which table? Do you know the conversations going on at the table? They are showing you a one-page dashboard of a report. You can't even interpret. Let me move on. because I know time is gone. I don't know if we'll be able to finish this today, but I'm trusting God that um if we can't finish this today, we will, because again, we need to respect people's time. So maybe I'll just show you one of the appraiser forms I have. And then from there, if we still have time, we'll look at, because I have quite a lot of slides. This is what I use for master classes. And I love my chairman so much. I don't have another branch, proudly Ogun State member, and I have a boss. My chairman says I should come and deliver this for free. And my response must be, as your lordship pleases. So let me stop this and attempt to share my screen. Let me bring out an appraiser form and just show you just one of them. There are so many of them. There are so many of them. And I'm going to show you just one in a bit. Just hold on. Let me just bring it out, the Excel sheet. Sorry, I muted myself. Please, can anyone see my screen? I've been talking. I don't know, I muted myself. Please confirm you can see my screen. Oh, excellent. Oh, thank you very much. Caller Roberts, we were taught in ICANN that we should have knowledge of all fields because we are the master of that uh, that field, finance. So thank you very much. Okay, so this is just one of the plenty ones. So for some of you who don't have money like Auntie Kumbi Adeoti to go and invest in what do we call it now? HR solutions. So this can run it for you. And you put the details here. And these key result areas, some of us call it, what do we call it now? What do we call these key result areas in the organization? I think we call it perspective. Yes. Please drop in the chat room. No. I know there are space for objectives. We call it perspectives. I know there are objectives. The cluster of objectives are under perspectives. Some call it key result areas, but for the sake of this class, let's just call it key result areas. Let's call it key result areas. Thank you very much. I can see the comments. So for HR, yes, perspective. Thank you. My boss is here. It's called scorecard. Is for HR. For HR, one key result area can be recruitment, and selection, and then the weight maybe this one, or you give it weight. These key results are just clusters of what your department does that they want you to focus on. They want you to achieve results in for that particular business year. So I hope this spelling is correct. Sorry, I need to quickly do this under a few minutes so I can move on. Weight. Now for the weight, the total weight of all the key result areas should be 100. So you're not going to break it down into those various key result areas based on importance. So if recruitment and selection is important and maybe you have like 7 key result areas, you can give this one 10% or 15%. Let's say 15%. Just type 15 there because we've added percentage under the column label. Now, the objectives. Each key result area or perspective, as we call it, can have as many objectives as possible. And let's say one of the objectives is that you should prepare and publish approved, what do we call it now? Job vacancies in line with your organizational guidelines, in line with your, please, I'll just abbreviate because of time, organizational guidelines. Now, the weight that you have assigned to this key result area, you are going to also distribute it across the objectives you have set. So this second weight for this template, this second weight is for each of the objectives. So this 15 now, maybe this one we can call it, if this one is important, we can call it 4. And for the objective number 2, we can be talking about screening. I won't be typing because of our time. Maybe screening and shortlisting of applicants, according to established criteria. That one we can give it another 4. The third one, you can be talking about coordinating interviews, schedules and support, panel logistics, So coordination, you write it in full, the objectives. And your objectives start with a verb word. Do this, not to. You won't say to coordinate. Coordinate, direct, achieve, prepare. So this one you can assign a weight of 3 depending on the importance of that particular weight or objective. So all of these weights must not exceed the weight of the key result areas. Let's leave graded weights for now. Now, the KPIs for an objective of prepare and publish approved job vacancies in your organizational in your organization according to guidelines. Please drop in the chat room what the KPI should be. I think Amos Aleke says, senior man, you will be sharing this document with us. Kai, you will pay. Amos, my guy, you are going to pay for these. So for KPI, oh yeah, now let's go. I think we're talking about percentage of vacancies advertised within approved timelines. An objective can have more than 1 KPI, but no KPI can have 2 targets. So for the KPI here, let's say it's percentage of vacancies advertised within approved time frame. And then we can now say for the targets, let's say 96%. Now, the unit of measurement is, we're talking about percentage now, Abi. You pick that from the KPI. KPI is asking you for the percentage of vacancies advertised within approved time frame. So what's the unit there? It's talking about percentage. So the unit is percentage. Now, a lot of you will argue this, but even in the solution, that's technology solution that I've been exposed to, and as the practice is in most organizations, employees should first self-appraise. So this first one, employees will feel this first column. Let's say it says is in the solution, in technology solution, I mean, it's not as complex as this because that one is straightforward. But if you can't afford it, this is a way to go. So the results completed by employee, let's say the employee says he achieves 99%. And then the supervisor comes and says, no, you didn't do 99%, sir, with evidence. He says you did 86. He will write 86 here. You can see that immediately I wrote 86. The cell of the percentage of target completion and the threshold changed. The percentage of target completion is structured to follow the performance threshold I have created. And based on all the grammar I have been blowing, what we preach now in all the sessions, retreats I have attended in the last few months, and all the master classes I have facilitated, what I preach now is 100% has to be the new meet expectation. 85%, at least 85% to 100%. No longer 75% to 85, or I know some of us set it at a lower level. Exceed expectation has to be above 100. Because just like the analogy I gave about the suit, if I pay you to give me 100% achievement result, you can't give me 100% achievement and you say you exceed expectation. No. 100% is what you are paid for. So you deliver 100%, you have just met expectation. If you want to tell me you have exceeded expectation, then you will be doing above the target. So that's how I have structured this performance threshold, and that's what I preach everywhere I go. And my name is Sean Olabode Badiru. Nobody can drag me to court because this is what I firmly believe in. So exceed expectation has to be above 100. And the threshold we have given that is 5. For meet expectation, I can accept an 85% as pass mark. 85 to 100. For an average performance, maybe some of us will call it, is it slightly or partially meets expectation? Is 75% to 84% or less than 85%. Yeah, that's average performance with a threshold of 3. If you score anything lower than that, then you need the improvement. And that's a 60% to 74%. So we've given you a 2. If you score anything less than 60%, as far as this is my rating, and sincerely, I didn't copy this anywhere. So it may be strange to what you are using in your organization. I just came up with this and I'm preaching it. So 0 to 59.9% is unsatisfactory performance. Now, let's come back to that objective we have set and the results the supervisor has inputted, that's the result the guy has achieved. You can see immediately we put that result, the percentage of target completion automatically calculated itself. It's because we have structured the formula there, inputted the formula that auto-calculates it. That's why you are seeing 0.00. As we are putting the figures, it will auto-calculate. And this calibrates down until it gets to the final, the overall performance. Everything trickles down even to the overall performance. So with this, you don't need to stress yourself to be carrying calculator and stressing about what should happen. This also ensures that there's objectivity and not that somebody is dashing marks or somebody is victimizing somebody. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we preach now. And permit me to also remind you about what I said earlier. Now that we are dealing with, the calculation, the quantitative aspect of this. You know where you get these KROAs from, or the perspectives? Maybe every 3 years, depending on the number of years the organization sets its strategic goals. With the consultant and the board, they go on a retreat and they set a 3-year strategic goals. This is the direction we want the organization to head in the next 3 years. So whatever they agree on as the goal of the organization, the 3-year goal, the strategic goal, then internally, the CEO, members of the management team, and the HR consultant will, yes, there has to be a consultant there, will now say, okay, this year, out of this 3-year goal, which one do we want to achieve this year? So they'll look at it and come up with an annual business plan. Talking about the monetary aspect of it, maybe the 3-year strategic goal is saying achieve 100 billion in 3 years. The CEO, along with the consultant, internally now, after the board has gone, can say, okay, this year we want to achieve a 40 billion naira or 50 billion. That's audacious. So they communicate that to the board for approval, and the moment the board approves, now all of, I'm just talking about, I just mentioned one aspect of this goal, which is the financial. All of the things they said they want to achieve in that 1 year, they will now cascade it down to all of the departments. Okay, you, out of what we want to do this year, this is the one that concerns your department. This is the one that concerns your department. This is the one that concerns your department. So the one assigned to each department, the HR will now sit with the departmental head to allocate those targets, to share it among the employees of that department. And HR has to be there so that the high performer won't be overburdened. While, someone who is still struggling will just be pardoned because he's on the good book of the departmental head. So the HR will be there as a referee just to ensure that, the targets are fairly distributed among the employees. And that is how we come up with the key result areas. We don't just create it from our head. The key result area, which is also the focus area, will come from the strategic goals, which has been cascaded down into annual business plan. That's the goal for this year, and distributed to that department. So that's where they come up with these key result areas. And all of the objectives they have set, objectives and goal, what's the difference? Goal long-term, objective short-term, quarterly objective, all the objectives combined together make a long-term goal. So for some of you who are new to HR. So don't mix it together. And that's how the objectives they are setting in the long run must make us achieve the ultimate strategic goal. So there has to be alignment between what the employees are doing on a daily basis, the goals they have set for themselves, what they are pursuing, and the ultimate goal, the strategic goal the organization wants to achieve. If not, we will have a situation where the employees are claiming they have exceeded expectations and the organization is not meeting expectations. Inflated performance ratings. Employee is scoring 100% and the organization is scoring, maybe is wallowing around 60%. So this also has behavioral objectives where we have RITA 1, RITA 2, RITA 3. That's like a 360-degree, approach. That's on the behavioral side, because again, we can't let only one person rate the behavior of the employee. If only one person is rating the behavior, it's going to be subjective and victimization may come in. A lot of unbiases will come in. So at least let's have like 3 people rating the same employee. For some of us who don't believe in 360-degree ratings, please let more than one person rate the employee. I'm going to stop here, even though I still have a lot in these slides I have prepared. But the deal we have with you is a 1-hour training. And if I look at my watch now, I know I have spent more than 1 hour. So I would want to stop here and take contributions